Hey guys, so we are heading into Jeremy's spinal fusion surgery pre-op, one of two, at the surgery center in Morganton, North Carolina. So let's go see what we have to do to get prepared.
Woo!
What you got there, babe?
Bad it is. I didn't have to go very bad.
No. It's not much to turn in.
Just little nervous dribbles. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Awkwardly handing Pete through a window.
Actually, you be the the billion-dollar man or million-dollar man or whatever his name was.
Well, I guess I'm going to be the $160,000 man. Because that's what the surgery counts.
All right, so we are back from our pre-op at the hospital. Now, this is pre-op one of two. The first one was with the hospital, the surgery center, and then our next pre-op will be with the surgeon himself. So we learned quite a bit, and we thought this was just kind of be a checks and balances about his health and what medications he was taking and that sort of thing. But we did learn a lot of things that we didn't anticipate learning.
Yes.
So one of the things that really stuck out for us is apparently used to, when you would go to the hospital for surgery or if you're going to be admitted, they used to test you for MRSA. For those that don't know, that is a very infectious disease.
Staphylococcus
type thing. Basically,
hard to get rid of.
Eat your skin up. So hospitals used to, and I don't know if it's all hospitals, but they this particular hospital used to test before you came in. But they were having a lot of false negative tests, and people would have it and then end up with infections. So what they are doing is they are treating people, or in our case, they're treating people before they come in for MRSA, even if they don't know if you have it or not. So what he has to do is starting on, so our surgery is on a Thursday, so starting Saturday before the surgery, he has to take a shower in that stuff.
The CHG. This is no swabs for MRSA.
The swabs, gotcha.
So you get this handy dandy chart that you can see there. And so it has each day and the date so that you don't get it wrong. Now, the first part of this chart, there's your face. The first part of this chart is the MRSA treatments. And it's a swab that you're going to put in your nose twice a day, morning and evening. And then I have this shower scrub. What is it called? You can
CHG is what it's called. It's a bacterial type surgical scrub, back to shield.
They gave us 3 of these bottles, and I am to use half of a bottle per shower, scrubbing everything, focusing really a lot on the back. They said it's important that you wash with regular soap and shampoo first, do any of your hair care. Once that's done, then I scrub with this surgical scrub.
Yeah, so that was just a very interesting kind of learning that we had. They also went over all of his medications. Let's see.
So today, are we exactly 10 days out from surgery right now?
We're exactly 10 days out from surgery.
Which we got lucky because there's a lot of the vitamins and other supplements that I take that you have to stop 10 days prior to surgery. One of those, do you want me to go ahead and say that? One of the things, I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time sleeping, especially when I'm in pain like this and uncomfortable. So I take CBD every night. I have a CBD gummy or a CBD chocolate every single night. And that is something that you cannot have 10 days prior to surgery. At first, I thought it was just, because they want to sell us on prescription drugs and narcotics. But it turns out that CBD does have a component that can actually thin your blood a little bit, which could affect your surgery. And CBD is also known to potentially block some anesthesia medications. So you have to let people, there we go.
Yeah, so some of the medications that we have to make sure that he's not taking 10 days prior to surgery are anti-inflammatory medications, which he's been taking an ibuprofen 800 for the pain, so we have to cease that. Fish oil, vitamin E, goody powders, CBD, ginkgo biloba, turmeric, and melatonin. Also, I can never say that word.
Diclofenac.
Thank you. Celebrex, meloxicam. So those are just some of the things that we were told that he needs to stop using 10 days prior. Something else, now that he's using this cleaner, he has to make sure that he doesn't incur any scratches or cuts or abrasions or anything of that nature that could potentially get infected. So as of Saturday, when he starts that surgical cleanse, he can't sleep in the bed with the doggos, with me and the doggos, because they don't want to take a chance of him getting scratched and potentially
she actually
getting an
said,
infection.
well, and even from the dog hair, she said they didn't want any kind of me to be around the dogs or overly pet them because they don't want any kind of dirt or dog hair near me. So what I'm going to have to do is, we've got 2 pit bulls that love sleeping in the bed with us, so they're not going to stay out. So Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and start sleeping in the recliner by myself. But the other thing she did say that was concerning is if there is a scratch, or, you know, even if it barely breaks the skin the day of the surgery, they could potentially call off the entire surgery. So I definitely don't want that. So I'm going to be sleeping in the recliner once we get to 6 days out from surgery.
So yeah, so that's the big things, I think. We'll touch on some other small things as we kind of go along on this journey. But those are just kind of the big things that we wanted to point out from what we learned from our visit today. And then our next visit will be on Friday, which will be the Friday before the surgery. So 7 days out. No, 6 days
And so
out.
we'll go ahead and condense that and put that in this video too. And so that'll just be kind of a pre-op, how to get prepared, what we learned. And hopefully, I've had tons of uncertainty for these last 6-7 weeks. So hopefully, been scouring the internet looking for things. This will help somebody else.
Hey guys, so I'm getting ready to do my surgical scrub for the night. I have to do this a total of 6 times before surgery. You have to use a half a bottle per scrub, but I just wanted to show you a loofah that I found at Walmart. It has a handle on both sides. This is going to make it super easy for a bigger guy like me who can't reach his back to scrub my back. You can just hold each side and go back and forth just like you're sawing a log in half, and it works beautifully. So you definitely need to pick you up one of these loofahs. I would show you how much it stretches, but I'm holding the phone with my other hand, so that's just what you get.
All right, guys, we mentioned it earlier in the video. I had to start doing this today, 3/16. I had to do the mupirocin in the nose morning and night. Then I had to do the CHG shower. So here are kind of the instructions. Use the CHG once at night, once more in the morning of your procedure. Turn the water off before applying. Leave the soap on your skin for 2 minutes. Don't use any skin products after using the CHG. And then for the mupirocin, you're going to use it 2 times a day, every morning and night. A pea-sized amount of ointment per nostril. Blow your nose before you apply. Gently pinch your nose and massage it for 60 seconds, and don't blow your nose afterwards. So since you saw us last in the kitchen, I have had my pre-op with the surgeon, and I've got to say this whole time I've been a little uncertain about the surgery and how the recovery was going to go and things like that. But since talking to the surgeon, I actually feel a little more positive about it. I feel better about it. He said that I have a textbook case and that he's actually excited about doing the surgery, which is, you know, I'm not excited, but he thinks that it's really gonna knock my pain level down. I'm a thicker guy, and because of that, he said that I have big chunks of muscle beside my spine, so it's gonna make them have to do this fusion a little differently than they would do somebody else. Typically, they'll go in through the muscle and go in from the outside. So with the amount of muscle that I have, he's gonna be using a neural navigator, someone that's gonna cover my head with electrodes and all down my body, that's gonna be measuring every little current of my spinal cord, and they're gonna go in from the inside going outward instead of outside going in. So he feels good about it. He said hopefully it'll be less invasive for my body. So yeah, I feel good about that. I will say the nasal stuff that they have you doing, that stuff's terrible. It runs down, it'll get in my mustache and make my food taste funny. It runs constantly. They tell you not to blow your nose when you use it, but I'm telling you, you're gonna wanna blow your nose constantly as soon as you put it in. The shower scrub isn't bad. It lathers up like soap, so you can kind of see that you're good and covered. So that's not a pain in the butt. So the day of surgery, he said it's gonna be 3 to 4 hours. Could be longer if they get in there and have some issues, but then he said as I come to, they'll get me up and have me walking as early as possible. You know, and as far as after the surgery goes, recovery is just going to kind of depend on me. But for the most part, most people are only doing walking for about 6 months. The goal is, since I travel for work, is that I'll be able, the surgery is March 21st. The goal is that I'll hopefully be able to travel for work by June sometime. So we'll see how that goes. I wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that we're doing to get prepared for me coming home from the surgery. And so I've got some equipment that we've bought ahead of time. And as I talk about them, I'll probably just throw them up in the corner over here. And then I'll leave links in the description for each of these products. The first thing that I bought, and that's because I bought it when I couldn't walk and I was in a ton of pain, was a cane. Cane has been super helpful for me. It gets rid of some pain to allow me to kind of brace on. And so yeah, it's been heaven sent. I also got these grabber tools from Amazon, super cheap. I think 2 of them were like 30 bucks. I'll leave a link to that. And I got the extended ones that are a little longer. So, you know, depending on your height, think about that. If you're a tall dude, get the longer ones than the average ones you find on Amazon. They're like 30 inches. I think mine's 36 inches. So I have 2 kinds of walkers. You know, we're an off-road and outdoor channel. So I got a wheeled walker with brakes. I'm gonna call that my off-road walker. And then I have the standard fold-out walker that I think is gonna be easy for travel and things like that. And you know, it's got the tennis balls on the feet. So far, the only issue with that is my dog doesn't understand why he can't play with the tennis balls that are on the walker. So we'll have to keep fighting over that. The other thing that I got that I didn't think I wanted, but I'm glad that I did, I found this Samadra bidet from Amazon. This thing was like 28 bucks, and guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it makes your booty hole feel like it's been kissed by 1,000 angels. So even if you're not having surgery, check that bidet out, because it's a game changer, guys. Feel fresh and clean. So the other thing, when you're coming back from surgery, there's no bending, leaning, or twisting. And I don't know if you're tall like me, but sometimes that toilet is real low. So the other thing that we brought in was a toilet seat riser. So you definitely want one of those. Everybody that I've talked to said that's a must. We got the one that has handles on the sides. I don't know if I'll need that, but I got them just in case. So you may definitely want to look at that. The other thing that's not very extravagant and I don't feel very good about is I have a giant butt wand. And what that is, it looks like that. And you're gonna put your baby wipes, we use dude wipes, in that wand, and it's gonna allow me to, once I'm finished and I just wanna check and wipe up, I can use this one hand, do what I need to do without looking down, without bending forward or any of that, because remember, we wanna be like this all the time. So that butt wand could come in very, very handy. The other thing that we bought that was really expensive, and now I'm thinking it was probably a mistake. In our house, we had a big L-shaped couch, and we have 2 pit bulls, and they need to be on top of you all the time. So I thought recovery would be kind of tough there. So we did buy a very nice leather Bernhardt recliner. And the goal was for me to actually sleep there, because while I'm using this chemical scrub, they don't want me sleeping with the pups in the bed. So I got the recliner to sleep there. And I'll tell you, last night was my first night trying. I think I slept an hour in that recliner. It's not how I sleep. I'm a side sleeper. So I'm still wondering how this sleep thing's gonna work. So the last thing that I think is super important, guys, for your recovery, because you know we want to be as independent as we can, and I'm not going to have somebody here to dress me all the time. Tons of pajama pants, something with drawstring waist. They want you to have them at the hospital, and you definitely are going to want to have them when you're here at your house. You can use the grabber tool to help you pull them up, and a good pair of shoes. And so I was just gonna wear Crocs. They advised me against Crocs because they said I could have tendency to slip out of them. They want a shoe that has a closed back. So I've got a pair of leather slippers that are kind of goose down or sheep inside. So I'm gonna be wearing those for recovery a lot. And I really think that's all the tools that I have. This is now Sunday. My surgery is Thursday. And guys, I can't get out on the trail and off-road or do any of those fun things. So you're gonna get a whole lot of spinal fusion recovery right now on this channel. But if it helps one person out there be a little less certain about what's coming up, I'm totally fine with that, because I have been scouring YouTube for video after video. And one thing that I'm gonna do differently is I'm gonna film a lot at the hospital, because that's the part that I never see, and that's the part I'm worried about, how I'm gonna feel right after surgery, what the initial walking looks like, catheter stories, you name it. I'm gonna share it with you guys. So as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you're going through this, I hope you find some comfort, and I hope you recover quickly. And we'll see you next time, guys.